Alright, welcome guys. This is going to be a video on how to manage time in IELTS reading. I know a lot of students struggle uh, with time management, especially when it's the last few minutes where the pressure is at the peak. So in this video, we're going to focus on how to manage the entire reading paper in a way that we don't have 5 minutes left and then we have 10 questions left or 5 questions left. And we'll also see how we can manage some sort of questions at the end. Let's say if the paper is extremely hard, so what we can do is leave something for the end. So we'll start from the beginning, and then as we move on, we'll see how it goes. Uh, this is one of my first videos with uh, the like this kind of format with the blackboard. So part of my writing, I'm not used to doing stuff like this. Okay, so first we're gonna focus on the question types. Okay, so how are we gonna do that? There are a few types of questions we already know that comes into the IELTS examination, right? So there's like blanks, then we have true, false, not given, right? And then we also have some other types of questions. Uh, Give me a minute, sorry. Yeah. So we also have some other types of questions like paragraphs, and we name them like headings, or we choose a heading, or we select a like a select meaning, let's say. So like they'll give you a paragraph and they tell you, okay, these are things that you have to do, and then you have to select a meaning in the sense that what defines this paragraph. This is not the same as the title because that would be a few words, maybe two, three, one. Meaning would might be a little bit longer. And then we have, okay, so since we're running out of space, we're gonna write it kind of here. Okay. All right. So then we have what other questions we have? Blanks is a vague category, so it might be like you have a list. You might have to find a word. You might have to find, might be given completion. That's important here. Completion. And then we have MCQs. Very fun to do. Very fun. These and the true false and the not given. They are very fun to do. I'm just kidding. Yeah, I dread those. But anyways, if you know what you're doing, they might be fun. They might not be. But anyways, moving forward, other than MCQs, what do we have? Give me a minute. Let me just check something. Okay, so yes, we might also have like a flow chart completion. Then we might have like diagram questions. Okay, essentially all of these are part of the blanks. Okay, so since we're running out of space, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna erase most of the stuff. Okay, so that way we have more space. Okay, now let's focus on where we're gonna start with. So I what I usually do, I go through the whole paper like in the beginning, like through the whole paper first, right? So all sections, go through it, and then see what kind of questions you have. Usually there will be blanks, right? For sure. Then you will have MCQs for sure, and you'll have true, false, not given. Sorry, not given for sure. These are the three for sure questions that you're gonna get. And these are also the three that you can kind of guess. Remember at the beginning of the video, I said there are some questions that you really have to do in the beginning, and then you have some questions that you have to, that you can not have to, sorry, that you can do at the end. Now, questions like blanks and MCQs, you can guess it. And the only reason I'm saying you can guess is to save time. And that's like, let's say you have 5 minutes left and you have 10 questions to do. I know like it's very hard situation if you have like 10 questions and only 5 minutes. Now, if you have 5 minutes left and you have like 10 questions, would you rather have these 10 questions to be like naming the paragraph or like completing a flowchart or something? Or would you rather have them as true, false, not given, MCQs, and blanks? My guess is, and like most of the people would agree that they would rather have these questions because they can kind of guess it by skimming through the paragraph. Like it's easier to guess these than to label paragraphs or to complete a flowchart because in that you have to like really follow through the paragraph from the beginning to the end, right? And in this, like let's say you have a paragraph, right? So it starts from this is starting point, and then you have the ending point, right? If you skim through it, you can kind of complete these questions. But if you skim through it, you can't really get the gist of the paragraph, so that you can't answer those kind of questions. So this is what I do. I would complete every other sort of question first before touching these. What happens with that is I have maybe like now spent 35 minutes and I still have 25 minutes left for these questions. Now, additional benefit of this is, let me erase this first. So, additional benefit of this is, I'll tell you what the additional benefit is. Just give me a minute. Okay. All right. So, additional benefit of this is once you start doing those other questions, you're gonna have a lot of time left. You will have a lot of time for these questions, right? Uh, and you will have already read through, sorry, the paragraphs. Now, why do I say this? So, in order to do those kind of questions, the ones that we already did, you will have to read or skim through most of the paragraphs. So, you already have an idea what really happened, right? So, you would know what those true, false, or whatever those questions, where you're gonna find their answers, or if you're gonna find those answers. Your brain's already been given that information once. Now, the second time you read, you're gonna have better understanding, and that's really helpful for true false, not given, because this is gonna give you nightmare. A lot of people struggle between false and not given. When the answer is actually false, they would choose not given. When the answer is actually not given, they would choose false. So this will also help you do this in a timely fashion. I know it sounds kind of tricky. I don't know if it does or no, but this is what I follow. And uh, as I said, I got like 9 band in reading like twice. I gave an exam 3 times. I got nine in academic, nine in general, and then I did another academic that was 8.5. Okay, so what this tells us in terms of time management, we have different types of questions, right? So we're gonna focus on these at the end. This is at end, and and also blanks and MCQs, right? Uh, we're gonna focus on the other questions first. Now, another thing. So let's say you have this paper, right? This is first section, this is like, let's say first paragraph, this is second, this is third, this is fourth, this is fifth. Now you have questions, whatever questions you have here, some here, some here, and some here, and then you have some here. From my experience, they will always be in a sequence. So if you answer one question and it's here, the second question is gonna be here, and you have a third here and a fourth here. Like it'll always be in a sequence. So you don't have to really go through the whole thing again and again. A lot of people waste their time in doing that, so you don't have to do that, right? You can just go in a sequence and get your information that way. Like there's a chance, slight chance that a similar kind of information might be given at a different place, but you don't have to worry about that because you know if you already answered number two and you already answered number four, you know number three is gonna lie in between those, right? So you don't have to worry about this stuff. Uh, I think this kind of sums it up. What I would actually, you know what? We have some more time. We're gonna focus on now how much time should you give to each section. So you have like what, three sections, and we have like 60 minutes, right? So ideally that gives us 20 minutes for each section. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna try to reduce it to 17, 17, and 17. Okay, and we're running out of space again. Okay, so these 17, 17, and 17. This gives us extra 3 minutes. At the end, it gives us, oh, sorry, that's a plus. That gives us 9 minutes. Now, what we're gonna do in those 9 minutes is we're gonna go through the whole paper again, skim it, right? Oh, sorry, my bad. Skim it. Okay, so you're gonna skim through it, right? What's that gonna help you? You're gonna see some flaws in your answers that you kind of missed it or didn't pay attention to before. So that way you will have like a much better understanding of what you've done, and it'll help you in doing what? It'll help you in correcting your mistakes. I know you might think you might not have any mistakes, but trust me, mm, at least 70% of the time you're gonna do a mistake, a silly mistake that you're gonna figure it out as soon as you see it. Plus those 9 minutes, let's say if you were stuck on a paragraph question or a heading question or one specific multiple choice where you couldn't figure out which is the right answer. So you don't know which is the right answer, right? So you're gonna spend those 9 minutes on those kind of questions. That's what I usually do. Like in practice, in the paper, this is what I do. It doesn't matter if it's academic or general. Like I know those are different papers, but like given the marking style and difficulty levels, like at the end of the day, like you have a paper, right? You have a time limit and you have certain questions. It's the same amount of questions. They might be on a different difficulty levels, but like I've given both. And trust me, like when I say this, these 9 minutes are gonna be so much better at the end of the paper. You're gonna thank, you're gonna be thankful about this because you're gonna have few questions that you couldn't answer properly, so you kind of like either guessed it or you left them, right? Guess or left. Now, this kind of power we don't get it in a listening test. We only get it in a reading test. So in reading, at least you have this power, right? So this is kind of like a comparison between reading versus listening. Like in reading, you can come back to a question. In listening, you cannot. And that's why I say like spend or do at least what you can do instantly. Okay, yeah, okay. This is a better like a definition. So instantly would be the best way to do the reading paper. Answer the question that you can sorry, answer any question that you can do instantly. Anything that you have to spend like 2+ minutes, leave it. Leave it till the end. You're gonna leave at least at least that's what I leave. Like I leave at least like 5 to 7 for the end. And I usually have like more than 9 minutes. If I follow this rule, like I'll have like maybe like 15 to 20 minutes at the end because I didn't spend too much time on any question. What I answered, I got it, but what I left, now I have like 50, maybe like I'll have like maybe 10 minutes depending on how hard the paper is. But like let's say if we have 15 minutes and we have like 5 to 7 questions, uh, do you think you're gonna have a better understanding at the beginning of the paper or at the end of the paper? Because now you've read through the whole paper and you have a better understanding. Because when you start the paper, you don't know what it is about. You don't know what's written in the paragraphs. Now you've read it at least 2, 3 times already, and now you're trying to answer these questions with all that knowledge that you didn't have in the early stages of the paper, right? So this is how I do it. Like it's not like a black book or like a written like something solid. Like this is kind of like a breakdown of how I solve it and how I manage my time, right? So this is very important. One of the biggest reasons why people don't score in reading is they miss on questions. They miss it. As simple as that, they don't have enough time. So this is very important. If you don't have this, you're not gonna score good. Trust me. Yes, you might score like, I don't know, 6, 6.5. You might even score 7.0. But those who are aiming for like 9 or you're aiming for 8.5, are you gonna score that much mark with without this? No, you're not gonna do that, right? So in order to get that high mark, even like if you want to get like 7.5, even then you need okay, forget the 7. Even if you're gonna go like 7, you would still need some sort of time management because let's say if you miss like 5 questions, that means you're gonna have to bet on the fact that you answered all the other 35 correctly. Because if you start losing marks from that 35, this band is gonna start dropping, right? So this is my advice. Like you can put in your comments and stuff. Like ask me questions. I'll be answering all the questions to be honest because I know there won't be many comments, but like whatever it is, I'll be answering those. But this is very important. I know this is kind of like I this is not an ideal way, but it is something like this is my first time to be honest doing a video like this, so pardon me if it wasn't coherent to be precise. But anyways, have a good day, guys.